All right, let's do a quick heat check here before we start the show. Quick heat check. How to tell if you are consuming too much right-wing media without saying outright that you consume too much right-wing media. Yeah, I got my psychic hat on. I'm pulling out an envelope. You think signaling virtue is a worse problem than signaling that you're a huge piece of shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The World According to Kyle podcast. How's it going, everybody? It's been a while. As per usual, you can catch me on your various social media platforms as follows: YouTube at Kyle Max, Twitter at Kyleverse, Instagram at Kyle Max86, Facebook's at Kyle Max, Reddit at TWA2K. Questions can be directed to my DMs. You can find me on your major podcast platforms: iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podcast Chaser, and GeoSavan. How's it going, everybody? How are you doing? I have a question for you. That's a little bit out of the boundaries. I have to ask you folks out there in the interwebs, are you digitiled? Did you guys see the lady who was part of like the trucker convoy in the United States, and she was pretty adamant on the fact that we are all digitiled. We're being digitiled by the people who really run things, and it's quite an interesting thing to think about, like as if what it actually might mean. But here, let me play the audio for you real quick. All right, this is, by the way, from The Good Liars, a great follow if you're into them. But they are doing these interviews, I guess, where they're getting the opinion of some of these the best and brightest minds that the trucker convoy has to offer, and this is just one of them by a lady trucker who. And no word of a lie, she's driving a truck that is called the SS Carrier. Oh my god! You can't make this shit up, folks. From Louisville, Texas, and here is what she has to say about what the fuck is going on. Listen.
Are you really concerned about right now?
I don't want them to digitile us.
You don't want them what?
To digitile us. I don't want to take medicine that'll hurt people.
What was the word you used, though? I haven't heard that.
Digitile. Digitile.
Digitile? And what does that mean?
They're trying to make us robots. They're trying to make it where we have no choice and nothing, to where they can control us from what they put in our bodies.
And eventually we'll actually be robots?
According to what they're saying. Not robots, but according to what... They've already got a full man-made working female robot.
Are you really concerned?
Now... That sounds one of the best and brightest minds that this freedom convoy has to produce. And now, I know it's fun to say, I know it's quiche to say, but I really do strive to be the world's first apolitical podcast. But that's a little whose side am I gonna be on? It's not the side that is like cursing out old ladies in libraries for asking you to wear a mask. Whose side am I on? It's not the side that's gonna pitch Karen fits inside of restaurants because they have a certain company policy. Whose side am I on? It's not the people who are waking up other citizens at 6 a.m. in the morning by honking their horns and putting out these like vague insinuations of freedom that we're supposed to adhere to, even though 90% of the country does not agree with you. Whose side am I on? It's not the side that thinks we're living under a dictatorship, because the vast majority of people agree on taking the coronavirus serious, and you don't give a shit. Okay, that's not the side I'm on. Okay, yeah, that's just where we're at. I mean, there are maybe some sides of the movement, if you want to even call it that I wouldn't hate, but the fact that it came out of it risen out of the ashes of mask mandates is not really something I'm too keen on. As you know before, if you have heard this podcast, that I am a Canadian who believes that Canada needs to be more of a competitive force against America, and needs to stop suffocating our country in red tape. So, as being someone who is very let's just say libertarian light, as I do know that there are some things that are too big to fail, that there are some things that you need government control for, but you don't need the government regulating every aspect of your business. As someone who holds these beliefs firm, I have to reject what the freedom movement is throwing at me. And there are some people probably who are in it for the right reasons. But when you have to, like, I've seen some guy who, like, made it a point, it's like, hey, he took over the microphone one time. It was like, yeah, some people are here for the right reasons. When you have to kind of point out that, there are some people who are actually here for the right reasons, probably by and large, the group of people who you are supporting are dumbasses and regressing whichever fucking cause you think that you are in favor of. And now I have to quick shout out, and I know this is a theme of the show. This is hey Americans, you don't know anything about this. You don't know anything about what good beer, what it means to make a good beer. But I am drinking a Kilkenny Irish cream ale to kind of parch the throat, to alleviate me on one of my only days off of the week, in order to bring you this TWA2K action. And this is actually my first time having a Kilkenny, and I'm very impressed. Like, normally when I go for the Irish beers, I'm normally thinking about some Guinness, I'm drinking some Guinness Stout, but this is like and I'm such a beer snob at this point that that this is what I did. I seen that Kilkenny, and I heard of it before. It is an Irish cream ale, so I had to, when I first cracked open my first can, which was like about an hour ago, I poured it into like a translucent cup, like a glass cup, so that I can see what it actually looked like. And, you know, seeing what it looked like helped kind of put a mark on the taste. And just the rest I drank out of the can, but I just wanted to, like, you know, see what it looked like and smell it before I tasted it. It's like a nice amber cream ale, and yeah, I would totally buy it again. Like this Kilkenny, wow! Like you know, very impressed. And it does say to serve extra cold, which I drank the first one, it was okay, and I put the next ones inside of the freezer for about an hour before I came on the pod, and it's much better, I have to say. But anyways, I digress. Back to the you know, extremists. The extreme conspirator crowd. Now, I get a lot of like people who think that reality is controlled, and that some, like, they're very, you know, that there's people who are like out there controlling how we live our day-to-day lives. Like, what I feel at this point is that it's just like a kind of mental barrier that people have, and it, like, that prevents them from living in a world that they don't understand. You know, like the reality is uncertain, reality is probabilistic, reality is nuanced, and these people can't handle that. They always need to feel as if they are in control of reality, or that they understand the controls of reality. So I think that, by and large, is what kind of makes conspiratorial thinking attractive. That people have a psychological disposition to not live in a world they don't understand, or an inability to grasp uncertainty and improbability in the world, and they need to believe that, like, that things happen for a reason. And just in general, that people are just really dumb, and they cannot handle, like, you know, like, for me, you know, what's really dumb, that we live in a world that we don't understand, that you know, that sometimes bad people get good results, and sometimes good people get bad results, and vice versa. So what's more likely, that, or there's some fucking, like, Rockefeller, like JD Rockefeller, going to his calendar and going, okay, today is the day that we're going to push the buttons to make Vladimir Putin invade Ukraine. Oh yes, today is the invade Ukraine day. Okay, let's set these fucking black magic shit in motion to make Vladimir Putin attack the. Okay, yeah. Well, hey, today's the day. JD Rockefeller, I marked it down on the calendar. We're gonna have the war in Ukraine, so let's fucking let's mobilize it. Is, like, you know, to think that is reality, that we're like, you know, I think that gives too much credit to people. I think people are generally very dumb and very predictable and very self motivated and have self interest and play. That gives way too much credit to the human species than we deserve. That we can honestly sit there and like plan out fucking like decades long conspiracies that instead of just like it being, oh yeah, you know, Putin's fucking dick has gone soft, no amount of Viagra will make it hard, and he has to just bomb a bunch of fucking little kids and fucking children and fucking women at fucking you know, hospices because, you know, essentially his dick is failing to work. See, that is fucking much more realistic and much more that is much more potential than that people are actually controlling our reality and saying they're going to unleash these plans. Which, by the way, you would have to, like, for all the fucking shit that conspiracy idiots fucking peddle out there, do you know how much, like, people would have to be involved in this fucking shit? Like, do you know how many people would have to, how many fucking staffers and wait staff and economists and, like, do you... Forget about that. Like, think about these fucking retards who think that that COVID was planned out. Like, you would need like fucking like hundreds of doctors in every single country to completely make some horse shit up, and like, it's just where are we at right now? Like with like it's like I was telling my friend the other day when I was meeting up with her, and we have some conversations about what's going on in the world, and I was telling her, I was just like, you know, we're at the point right now where people can just present like random guy in his basement saying this, and they can present it as some sort of contrarian opinion to like something that has been peer reviewed by people who are professionals in the field, and presenting it as if absolutely nothing is wrong with what they're doing. It's pretty bad, and I think like and we both agreed, contrary to some other people, like where some other people were saying, oh yeah, this is progress and we're on our way to progressing. I think things have never been worse. I think we are on a fast track to civil war with like the polarizing politics and what's and you know, how people are just willing to believe shit so easily and not have any real firm basis for like couching their opinions in fact and in rigorous study, you know. Like, for instance, like, I wonder how many people's entirety of their personality was literally created by Russian bot farms. Like, I wonder what types of beliefs they would have. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Actually, I'm pretty sure what types of beliefs they would have if most of their personality was created by Russian bot farms. Like, maybe they would be the types of people who think that cancel culture is a significantly bad thing, or that that trans athletes are a worse issue than somebody who's LGBT getting their face punched in because they want to love who they want to love, I guess. But I digress. Like, this is some sort of, what it feels like to me is just some people who are playing up like the fringe elements of what's going on and pretending like it's a worse problem than it actually is. Like, and me, like I said, I strive to be a apolitical show. And now, what it means to be apolitical for me is to truly not be reliant on frameworks, or to truly not be reliant on on leanings or some side or what they're playing up right now. I want to just when TWA2K says that it's the world's first apolitical podcast, what I like to be is just looking at the issues plainly and forgetting about what the extremes of one side are saying, what the extremes of the other side are saying, and kind of look at the data. And now, I certainly wouldn't want to be somebody who is constricted to believing in academia, or always thinking that academics are right, because there's a lot of bullshit involved in academia. Like, there's but what it has to do with is often when the bullshit is often stuff that like psychology, for instance. Psychology is a soft science. When we're talking about pharmaceuticals, for instance, are some sort of a soft science. Now, what the people on the so-called pro-science people on the right who are anti-vax, what they're doing wrong is they are not citing peer-reviewed studies as doctrine. What they're doing is they're nitpicking things that agree with their preconceived stances on the vaccine and on COVID, and they're playing those up as if those are the norm. But so now an example where they are right, where they're correct, or they might be correct, is the trans issue, where they have trans men who have their sex, they were born as men and they transition into women, and you know, but they still have the bodies of men. If they are competing against women in women's sports, then that would offer a huge physiological and biological advantage to the man. Now the left would like to say that that what you feel is what you are, but I'm a very chill person, and I believe that if somebody isn't causing a problem, then it should be no problem. That we have to look at isolated instances of violence and terrorism as isolated instances, and then draw conclusions if the isolated instances seem to match a certain type or a certain characteristic. And right now we're not seeing that, like from trans people, and like, say, a trans person who wants to identify as a woman. We're not seeing these kind of like things that the right has warned us about. But I think it's a digression, and it's a regression of women's rights to have biological men who just want to identify as females perform against females and just and crush the competition. Now, there's like some wiggle room inside of there where I feel like if the reverse has happened and a a biological woman wants to identify as a man and then compete in men's, I think men are okay with that. And they, physiology has such an important role in who we are, and that I think I wouldn't fear her getting killed in the ring, but if she wants to do that and prove herself at that level, that's fine. That's fine. But I think that I think it's a digression to feminism and to women's rights that while women are trying to become more equal to men, that they're having biological men slap them down essentially. And I would love to hear some female responses on this. But I think like it's not just cut and dry. Like you're a bigot if you don't think that somebody who was born a man and transitioned into a woman, if they shouldn't compete with women. Maybe there should be like some sort of trans division of sports, or some like mediated division of sports where there's like there's not quite male or female. And I don't think you should be able to identify as a female and perform, or be able to identify as a female and you were a biological male and perform against other. But that's a very like nitpicky thing. I think by and large that that there's been a lot of trans panic, so to speak. That there has been a lot of like over worrying about trans people fitting into society. And I think like if you are just cool, and if you are just expressing yourself how you want to express yourself, that by and large, like the trans community represents even I'm friends with a lot of gay people, and I've met trans people before, but I'm friends with a lot of gay people, with a lot of gay and lesbian individuals, but like even they don't know exactly how to approach this this trans issue with sports. But I feel like a lot of right-wing people play it up more than it needs to be, while ignoring the fact that it's not it's not like the Buffalo Bills who are going out and mowing down fucking grade schools. It's not like it's not these stereotypes that we've worried about from the trans community, like luring people into washrooms. Like that shit is not happening. What is happening is fucking whiny fucking white people doing murdering innocent children and stuff because they couldn't get laid. And a lot of these protests, and all these protests have these fucking like chants and shit. It's like stop the steal, Trudeau's a dictator. Or it's like all I hear is I can't get laid, I'm white and unhappy. Like that. That's it. Like, that's kind of what I really hear. What's like my, when I have my like bullshit detector on and operating, and And that's kind of what that's what I hear instead of like all these 3-word chants. You gotta search for the Freudian slip and the Freudian meaning behind what these chants are going on, and then you kind of insert your own little 3-word chant into it, and it sounds like, oh, okay, yeah, that matches kind of what I think these idiots are fucking trying to protest. Now, on the bashing the left a little bit, because Lord knows I love to do that. Just the opportunity hasn't presented itself as much. People who get caught in political imprisonment. I gotta try and be careful with this. I gotta try and coach what I gotta try and coach the most extreme versions of myself in this. But, who are these people who, get caught in, these political imprisonments? Like, those Michaels in, fucking, North Korea. And now this Brittany Griner, this WNBA star in Russia. It's like, are you fucking paying attention to what's going on? I mean, it might save you a couple $1,000s to fucking go through Russia, but are you even fucking looking at what's going on? And maybe Brittany Griner's a lesser example of this. It's fantastic women's basketball player, by the way. I don't know how I would do in women's basketball. I'm wondering, like, if I would be a star in women's basketball. Who knows? But it's a good thing for women to have female role models who aren't just like whores, but so hers was more of an excusable disposition to have gotten caught in than the dude in North Korea. Like, the dude in North Korea was trying to steal like state propaganda signs, like, and you think you're not like, have some awareness of the fucking political landscape that you're living in, of the political times that you're living in, and understand that, hey, there's this fucking psychopath dictator who may take any minor offense very seriously. Perhaps we should well, first, we shouldn't have fucking gone there to begin with. But second, we did go there. Let's fucking tiptoe around eggshells during this tumultuous time. That would have been the smart thing to do. But the dumb thing to do would have been to go and try and steal propaganda posters from this North Korean dictatorship, who the motherfucker who is in charge of is executing people for not fucking folding his napkins properly. I don't mean to say you deserved it. I really don't. But could have made better choices in life. That I think is indisputed. All right. So, politics. How is it going? How is the war turning out? Could be better, I guess. I just wanted to make one thing clear. Like, This world like forces you to rethink yourself, rethink your strategies, rethink who you are aligned with. And I think like if you are a right winger and who was Trump aligned with? Trump was aligned with Putin. Trump was aligned with Kim Jong-il. Trump was aligned with all these socialist dictators. And Biden and Obama were not. And I think, like, whatever you want to say about the situation, I think having Trump as a president inside of this situation would have been probably a lot worse than what we have right now. So I'm at least thankful for the fact that that Obama is in office. And you know what? There would have been a time where I was more socialist leaning. That, like, okay, I'm somebody who would probably do well in socialism, let me re-coach this. I'm someone who would probably do better if there was like a good socialist environment. I feel like a lot of why I haven't taken off and a lot of who I am and is because like there are free market forces and growing up in certain situations and stuff like that. I feel like I would have been better off inside of a socialist society, a more socialist society that was operating well. For instance, I do not think that capitalism is a meritocracy. I think that if you are born into a better situation, it yields better results for you. But I mean, I don't think that if you're born into a poor situation, but you prove yourself and work your ass off, that is a better alternative than have been born in a socialist place, which kind of treats everybody. But all that being said, there's no version of socialism that I feel is like I should join that, or I would like being a part of that, or if the playing field was level, I feel like I could rise in that environment. Probably China is the closest, but they have a shit ton of problems with pollution and overpopulation and shit. So the thing is, like, all this hate coming to capitalism in the free market. Well, socialism still runs off money. Socialism still runs off the economy and selling shit to the West at cheap prices and constantly producing it. For me, I have not seen a version of socialism which is compelling enough for me to willfully leave a Western democracy. And this is something that I would have done before. And you know what? It's not the fault of Western propaganda why this has happened. It is a fault and it is a failing of socialism. It is a fault and it is a failing of leftism. It is a fault and it is a failing of communism, and it just hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked that way. And even the most advanced socialist societies still have to work off capitalism and selling shit to the West and all that. So I mean, is it the fault of Western propaganda that people feel this way, or is it the implementation? Is it the implementation of socialism, right? I mean, it's one of those things where it sounds good on paper, but does it lead to a corruption that is far worse, and that we don't necessarily want? So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask once again, are you Digitiled? All right, here, before we get into the back of the show, let's just do a quick crypto update. Let's do a quick Tales from the Crypt. Oh! Yeah. Tales from the Crypt. Oh! I've been seeing a lot of crypto hate and a lot of like crypto hate. Like I'm subscribed to like a good amount of like pro crypto channels and that, but I think I'm seeing too much of a baseline rejection of crypto as an overall Ponzi scheme and shit. Like, and now I just want to say before we continue with the rest of the show, that taking a good and honest look at crypto right now, and me taking like a bird's eye view, a God's eye view at crypto, I would say at the very least it's a 50-50 whether crypto is a future or not. And I would say lean more into the fact, into the side that it is than that it isn't. Like I think a lot of people who are anti-crypto just prop up like the worst of the worst. Like they prop up the NFT scams, they prop up the metaverse scams, and they don't look at what's really going on in crypto, and they and the how it will help the future, and the potential of like of the fruition of these ideas, much like the computer back in the late 80s, where it was just like something that was just like, why would you read your newspaper on a computer when you have a newspaper right here? And it just seems so out of nowhere. But I mean, it's but the continuation of it is just inevitable. And I'm definitely a lot more bullish than I am bearish on it. Like, I mean, like, literally my positions have not changed. If you've been here before, if you've watched some of my crypto-centric episodes, that my positions are not changed. We might be down in some, we might be up in some, but those are my positions, and I haven't faltered from them. So, keep up with it. I'm feeling very good about what's going on right now. I don't think a lot of that is entangled with my the prices that I got it in exactly. I think that the positions that we have are very good, are very solid for the future of crypto, and that we have a lot of, and that the positions we are in are pretty diverse, and we have a lot of potential here, and we have one big hoochie mama that we are that we have that we feel has been suppressed and is about to come out strong. So don't listen to the crap. There's a lot of bullshit around right now, and there's a lot of bullshit in crypto right now. But what I'm bringing you, and the plays that I am bringing you, are not the bullshit plays. I mean, like I said last episode, one of these ones I bought into right away and it's up. Another one I bought into right away and it's down. So you have a little bit of plus and a little bit of minus from here as far as your buy-in point. But all things stay the same, and what I like is what I like, and nothing has shook me off of that. There were a couple assets which I sold, as you know, as you folks know, and as I hope you folks have been following, that my highest leverage position and the position that I have the most most percentage of my portfolio of is XRP, and I have been working that up. And now I've bought a couple assets which I sold in order to buy more XRP to, like I told you, my last episode, my XRP position was probably close to 60% of my portfolio. Now I am working it up. Now, since I feel like there's the lawsuit kind of winding down and shit like that, we talked about it the last episode, I worked my position up to about 70 to 75%. Now, two of the positions that I sold on in my portfolio and exchanged them for XRP. So two of those positions are my Jade protocol and my ORAI. There were like 5% positions. I liquidated those and putting them into XRP. So I don't know what you guys are doing, but that is kind of what I feel like this is kind of the time of that this is a time where we're getting kind of close to the end right here. And you want to have your solid positions, your solidified positions intact. And a couple of the other ones that I bought were more speculative, and I thought maybe they had a chance of running before XRP came, before a lot of the news with the XRP came into fruition. But now XRP had a major win in the court, and we're waiting for the emails. If we get the emails, then pretty much it's smooth sailing, which I believe they will. Which the other position, the fair notice defense, was the one I was worried about, which a judge ruled on in our favor. So right now I'm working up my XRP to be about 75% of my total portfolio, with a lot of other shit, with the shit we talked about before, minus what I sold to the ORAI and the Jade, which were small percentages of my portfolio, which I sold to bolster up my XRP. So that was it. It's a quick tales from the crypto. So once again, folks, are you Digitiled? Are you Digitiled? You know what? I think I was pretty Digitiled last weekend. I had I might have been fucking super Digitiled last weekend because alright, so we had a Secret Santa meeting where we all exchanged our Secret Santas, and now most of the time our Secret Santas go in January because like of the family stuff that's happening. This time our Secret Santas happened in March because of a lot of different external factors, as you could imagine. So we had our Secret Santas, and one of my Secret Santas was terrific. She's one of my best friends, and she gave me a Cincinnati Bengals sunglasses, which she knows I'm a big Bengals fan. A Cincinnati Bengals football, and she also gave me a couple edibles. So there were cookies, and 2 cookies, and each cookie was 135 milligrams. And holy shit. So I ate it. I ate one of the edibles, and I was kind of hungry at the time, right? So I was very like I ate half of it. And I was like, oh, this is really tasty, and I ate the other half of it, and I didn't really think much about it. And it was while I was in the middle of like cooking some dinner, and so I was making some pasta, and so I ate the pasta, and it was just such a lingering like after the pasta, or while I'm eating the pasta, I could just feel this like numbingness, and this like my body limbs becoming fucking completely like completely numb. And so one of the things that like really catapulted my buzz into like the next phase was like I was watching some. Did you guys see the Russian the Putin like pro-war rally where, you know, it was inside of like an arena, and you know, Putin was delivering his propaganda speeches, and it was like you could tell like a lot of people were there, but most of those people were forced to be there. So I was dealing with that. So like that kind of like I was watching that happen in real time, and like my edible was kicking in, and I was just like, fuck this, and had to basically just like lay down in bed for like 12 hours straight, and kind of just chill there. So it was good, but it was bad. I would say like 135 milligrams is too much for me. You know, I don't want to be in the fetal position, thinking horrible thoughts, even though they might be very warranted, considering considering the times we're living in. But that was all right. It was nice. My one of my friends who never gets high off of edibles, he actually, like, I gave him the other cookie. So I had one and I ate it, all 135, as dumb as that may have been. And I gave him the other half. And he's a person who does not get high off of edibles. And he actually ate the 135, and he actually said he felt a buzz off it. So glad to have helped in any way I could, because I think it would have just given me insane PTSD to have done that other edible again. So, once again, I must ask you, are you Digitiled? One last topic we'll hammer on is the NFL free agency. Now, before we get on that, March Madness is the fucking hot button thing. And I'm just let me just float this idea out here right now. Is fucking one and done eliminations really the best way to do a March Madness tournament? Like, I mean, it's good. It's fun. It leads to a lot of excitement, but does it let the best team win? Maybe we should have best of 3 series. Like, with basketball, I think it's just two. Like, somebody could get hot shooting, and all of a sudden, you know, your stacked team is fucking dead in the water because you know, you got 2 less rebounds than you were supposed to. I would think if we were trying to have have the fairest possible way, it might be a best of 3 series, because just having one game for a tournament and having that just be the be all end all, is that really the best way to reward somebody who's just the hottest shooting team gets to advance? I think if you shoot hot 2 games out of 3, fuck yeah, you deserve to advance. So basketball's a lot like that, where you just your threes are hitting and then you fucking win. Like you can't do that 2 out of 3 games. You can do that 1 game, definitely, but perhaps it is time for us to rework what we mean by a NCAA champion. Let me just float that out there. Now, speaking of floating shit out there, wow, free agency in the NFL. So, speaking of floating ideas out into the ether, let me float this one out to you folks and see how you feel about this one. Excuse me, I had to build up for that. Now, is Denver Broncos, after having acquired Russell Wilson, still the worst team in the AFC West somehow? Just floating it out there. Just floating it out there. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go full out with this take or not, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. And now I have to give my chef's kiss best fucking off season ever. I absolutely loved what Davante Adams did. You know what? I like when Aaron Rodgers signed that stupid huge deal, and when I seen like, okay, well, Green Bay's not going to win the title ever, paying Aaron Rodgers all that much money. I thought of that as like a huge slight to Davante Adams, and that he was a very large part of what helped Aaron Rodgers be Aaron Rodgers, because Davante was just so good that that he was just such a security blanket for Aaron Rodgers, and for Aaron Rodgers to demand that much, that is really fucking over your team and your team's ability to be able to win again. You know, like it's not just cut and dry, like where you pay the best quarterback the most amount of money. It's like the quarterback is worth a lot, but is he worth 25% of your total team's salary? Like Aaron Rodgers, if you want to look at what is preventing your team from being able to make deep postseason runs, look in the goddamn mirror. Look in the fucking mirror at yourself and how much you are demanding out of the team. That's it. That's why the team is struggling with financial constraints, is having to live up to your max salary expectations. And what exactly are you delivering when everything's all on the line? And I've said this before because I am a fucking die-hard Bengals fan. Because I'm a die-hard Bengals fan. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback who happens to play football. Joe Burrow is a football player who happens to play quarterback. Okay? And if you cannot fucking tell the difference between those two things that I just told you, then God help you. go ahead and bet Green Bay fucking plus 1,100 to win the Super Bowl. It's not happening, okay? But me, I'm gonna fucking pivot. I'm gonna slide to left, and I'm gonna fucking bet on the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl. And as a Bengals fan, I did not expect what happened last year. But I'm grateful for it. We are the only team that has severe potential, that improved during the offseason, that didn't get worse. We're the only top 5 team that didn't get worse during the offseason. And I think that the only weakness that the Cincinnati Bengals had, they got good at. So the only weakness that the Cincinnati Bengals had was the offensive line, and they got good at that. And now, look the fuck out. I'm just telling y'all right now, I will be betting on it this week. Right now, it is plus 2,200 for the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I am expecting a repeat performance. I'm expecting the Cincinnati Bengals to move through, and for us to go into the off season and free agency and acquire fucking Karras, Kappa, and Lyle Collins for our offensive line was probably about the best case scenario that we could have possibly imagined. While we put Jesse Bates on the franchise tag, we might have to re-sign him next year. We put Jesse Bates on the franchise tag. It might have been better off to extend him at a cheaper value now, but I cannot think of a team that had a better offseason than the Cincinnati Bengals. So, well, I think Buffalo is one of our only threats in the AFC. I'm putting the smart money right now. I'm putting my money on fucking Bengals right now to win the Super Bowl. I was a little pissed off that I had my money on Chargers last year. I just thought that I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a work in progress with Joe Burrow, but I mean, he showed you what he was capable of, and Cincinnati's got all the pieces in place. They have the best team in the NFL. They have the most chemistry, the clickness. They're clicking together right now. So at plus 2,200, we're fucking taking it. We're taking it right now because I don't think it's getting fucking any lower. And if it gets any lower, we're gonna buy the dip. So while I don't think it, because Cincinnati always drafts good, and everybody's always hating Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a bad organization. They have bad ownership. They have bad this. They have bad that. That was just a masterful free agency. And if you want to take it, the last 2 free agencies in a row, like where they have acquired amazing talent. So we got our money on the Cincinnati Bengals next year. And what is it right now? So I'm gonna have a couple hundred on them. Let me figure out what it is right here. So times. Okay, so if you put $100 on the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl right now, if they win, you get $2,300. And like, the people that they have ahead of them, the teams that they have ahead of them are seriously an embarrassment. They have fucking Baltimore Ravens ahead of them. Like, they have Kansas City took a step back in free agency. Tyreek Hill left to go to the Miami Dolphins, and you have fucking and you have Kansas City ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals. Guys, it's our year. We are going to fucking do this. So let's, before I was uncertain. Last year I gave you the Los Angeles Chargers as the pick to win the Super Bowl. This year there's no uncertainty. There's very little uncertainty. And the Cincinnati Bengals are the play to win the Super Bowl. Come join us. Come celebrate in the money. Bet them to win the Super Bowl. And I feel like they got a pretty good chance of making it out of the AFC. The team that I'm worried the most about is the Buffalo Bills. But I don't think even if the worst case scenario comes out of the NFC, which would be the Rams, which would be the super pass rushing antithesis to the Bengals, like it was the last Super Bowl, which I said the Rams were the worst matchup for the Bengals last Super Bowl. If the Rams happen to pop their head up in the next Super Bowl versus the Bengals, I think the Bengals fucking got this one because we just improved so much on the offensive line that it cannot be overlooked. Like the average pass blocking, run blocking grade for who we had before was under all three signings in free agency that the Cincinnati Bengals had. So every single, and this is considering that the Cincinnati Bengals have terrific O-line coaching with Frank Pollock from from the Indianapolis Colts. So there's something for you to stew on. So come join us, make money with us, and make money with the TWA2K Army. Once again, follow me. Follow me on YouTube at Kyle Max, on Twitter at Kyleverse, on Instagram at KyleMax86, on Facebook at Kyle Max, on Reddit at TWA2K. And let's get this paper together, fam. That was the World According to Kyle podcast. I hope you had a fantastic evening, and we'll see you all again on the next one. Take care, y'all.